What up, YouTube? Shredded Otaku here. So, just a little bit ago, there was a first reveal slash trailer for that new Super Mario Bros. Animated movie that's been hyped up so much this last year. And it was a little strange seeing a direct for a movie, but I think it's a welcome surprise, or a change of pace, I guess I should say. But for those of you that don't know, Mario Bros. Has obviously been around for 35 plus years, and they've never done like a legit movie for it. There was like not directly done by Nintendo, but a kind of third-party released live-action movie back in the 90s, which was super cringe, but very funny. If you want to check that out, it's available. Just Google Super Mario Bros. Movie, and you'll probably find it. Coincidentally, that movie, the DVD copy, went on sale for $3.99 this morning, probably just because people were going to be Amazon checking that, searching it up. So I went ahead and snagged that movie today in 2022, which is kind of funny. The live-action one, I mean. But anyway, to the subject at hand, guys, there's never been a legit animated Mario movie. And I wasn't able to do a live stream capture of my reaction for this trailer because I'm not big enough on this channel yet to be able to do that. I say yet because just as every YouTuber has to say, guys, feel free to like, subscribe, even share this channel if you'd like to see it grow, or if you just enjoy seeing a short, buff, tattooed guy talk about video games and action figures. You're all welcome here. But anyway, there's never been a legit Mario movie like that's been done. And I'll be honest, like when they first announced it, I was like, cool, everything that comes to mind to me. I'm so pessimistic in terms of like the movie industry nowadays, where it's like, it just always feels to me like it's going to be a cash grab. So I didn't really have high hopes for it. I kind of realized as I was watching Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in theaters earlier this year, that sort of like cringy era of terrible video game movies is kind of behind us now. Like the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, in my opinion, were dope. So I kind of got the gears turning in my head where I was like, well, what if they did like actually a good job? Like, what if they because again, I'm such a big fan of Nintendo games that I have this idea in my head where some people get this with like Marvel or DC, where I have this like pessimistic view where I'm like, there's no way they're gonna get this right. There's no way they're gonna do justice to the standards that I hold Nintendo characters to, especially Super Mario. But anyways, so today the trailer got dropped, and we got to see just a little bit of the animation. And right away, Chris Pratt came on after Miyamoto and whoever the hell the director producer of this movie is here in the US. I don't remember his name, but Chris Pratt comes on, and they're like, hey, Chris Pratt, tell us about what you think or whatever. And like right away, like Chris Pratt, which has been like a controversial kind of movie character to be cast as Mario because he's not Italian and he's not attempting to do an Italian accent. But he comes on, and right away I was like, oh no. He kind of looks at the camera in like just a super awkward way. He's like, oh. I mean, my best impersonation of him is basically, and you can watch this video, if you look up Nintendo's channel right now, it'll probably be the first video that you see, assuming you're watching this video relatively soon. But he kind of gets on the camera, and he's like, oh yeah, like, we're all so excited to work on Super Mario. I remember when I was a kid at a laundromat playing Mario Bros. On the arcade machine. Then of course it came to the Nintendo, and I played that a lot too. It was really cool. And anyways, here's Jack Black. And I was kind of like, oof, like that to me felt like so just blatantly scripted. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe, and not everybody has to be the biggest Mario fan in the world to play Mario, like maybe they just, for whatever reason, thought he was the perfect guy. But like, don't fake it, dude, please. But anyway, so Jack Black then comes on, and my initial reaction was like, holy crap, Jack Black's freaking old now, dude. But, which means I'm getting old, but now he kind of looks like, he just kind of looks like an old wizard now, like in a cool way, in a good way, like a very friendly wizard. But anyway, he comes on, and my reaction was kind of like, okay, like, I think we got this, like at least on Bowser's end. Which, when I heard that Jack Black was gonna be Bowser, that was like the one thing that I felt like was going to be a saving grace. And he basically is just like, yo, like I had to learn fire breathing from freaking Gene Simmons to play this role. Like you have no idea how hard I've worked. Like he's actually kind of funny, and I'm like, okay, like let's do this, bro. Finally, Jack Black gets done talking. they transition into the opening, which is like it's actually like not the most iconic thing you would think of, which is kind of cool. It's like it's a little more imaginative. Like remember those penguins in Super Mario 64? Hang on one second, actually. Ooh. When you talk as fast as me, sometimes you gotta take a sip of something. But those penguins in Super Mario 64 are kind of, there's like a whole army of them, right? And there's like a castle behind them. There's like this ominous scene that they present to you. And the penguins are kind of like looking all menacing towards what you then realize is Bowser and his crew, who is like a big, also another army of Koopas led by Bowser, staring back at them. They're clearly trying to take over the penguin people's land or something. And it's like this, just very, first of all, everything looks so clean and well done. Like it's very well produced CGI animation. But the penguin people are like, let's go. They start throwing snowballs at Bowser and his crew, and it's just like this comedic, like, okay, and then Bowser just proceeds to destroy them. But in the midst of that, just little snippet of animation, you realize that Jack Black's voice is absolutely perfect in the way that he's throwing it for Bowser, and also that like just the mood of the film looks honestly great. Like it looks like a campy kind of like that newer age Marvel Disney type humor, but not in like a cringe way. But it looks really freaking good. Then transition to like a much more colorful scene with a bunch of mushrooms everywhere. Enter Mario, Chris Pratt. And he starts talking. He only says a few words, but right away, I looked at that and was like, okay, I get it. I understand why they didn't want like someone that was Italian or even someone that was pretending to be Italian. Because when you have a character like this talking throughout the entire film, like, I feel like it would have just weighed on it, you know? And it maybe have even been interpreted as offensive to a lot of people. So I feel like the voice, surprisingly, was actually very fitting. And I think it'll make for a very iconic version of Mario that people will interpret later on. But just the scene of the mushrooms and everything and like how detailed they were, again, looks freaking beautiful, you know? And that's pretty much all we got, you know? Then it was like Super Mario movie. We saw a little snippet of Luigi for like 15 seconds running away. Then it was again just like coming soon. And that was the presentation as a whole. Just very like 30 seconds of footage. But I'm gonna be honest, like, just based on that little bit, I think they've pulled it off. Like, I think that this is going to be like up to the standards, if not significantly better than the Sonic the Hedgehog movies that have been so highly praised, that I have so highly praised. Because I mean, I don't know if you're a Sonic fan and you saw the Sonic movies; those were well done. Like, those were actually really good. And this movie looks just incredible. Like the whole thing, the animation looks stunning. The way that they're, you know, my hope for this was that they would kind of go for that like newer age Marvel / Disney sense of humor that's kind of campy and not push it too far. And that looks like where they're going with this, which is awesome. You know, it's kind of like, I feel like it's going to end up being, you know, like a Wreck-It Ralph, but better. Just that kind of campy, like you're going to appreciate it if you're a older gamer nerd kind of thing. But also, like, the really cool thing about this is that I mean, if this movie is successful, which, I mean, let's face it, it will be. Sonic the Hedgehog was one of the highest grossing movies of the last few years. And I don't imagine that Super Mario is going to do any worse. So, you know, let's put ourselves in the position of all of a sudden Super Mario is a, you know, #1 box office hit. And it's actually good. You know, that puts us in the position now where, like, maybe we're going to see other Nintendo movies. And that, to me, is freaking cool, man. Like, so cool. Obviously, like, the first thing that comes to mind is, like, please make a Legend of Zelda movie or TV series that's not the 90s cartoon one. But, you know, other things to keep in mind, guys, is that Nintendo actually is doing a 10-to-1 stock split here in the month of October. This is maybe going above some people's heads. But they recently acquired a movie studio as well, and they're going to look to start making more movies. As of right now, they haven't been completely transparent with investors as to like what their plans going forward with that are, other than they're going to start with making like small kind of snippets of animation to promote different Nintendo characters and familiarize people with different intellectual properties. Which basically means, to me, like, what we could potentially see would be like an F-Zero or like a Metroid cartoon series, maybe like an animated series, you know, and maybe those things will release on different streaming platforms. Maybe they'll release on just regular television. Who knows? Like, when I was a kid, I want to say we had I'm almost positive we had an F-Zero show when I was a kid here in the States. I know it was a thing. I want to say I watched that stateside. But then there was things like Sonic. There was always like a Sonic cartoon. There was always that, you know, those were the kind of the ways that they wanted to introduce these intellectual properties or video game characters to the kids. So so that when they went out in the store, they were like, oh yeah. And I mean, I don't think at this point in time, like, we need anyone to familiarize the younger generation with characters like Link from Zelda or Super Mario from Mario Bros. They're pretty iconic just by themselves, right? But, you know, it would be cool. Oh, another one that comes to mind now that I think about it, just because I'm looking at my Kirby plushies. They had a Kirby show back in the day that was really popular too, and that I feel like did a really good job at, again, kind of breaking that gateway down for the younger generation to recognize these characters and be like, oh, there's a Kirby video game. Like, that's, oh, so Kirby's a game character. Like, and then they buy the game, right? Like, you know, it does well for everybody. But spreading the knowledge and awareness of lesser known video game properties like Metroid, you know, a new F-Zero cartoon would be awesome. Let me look around the room and just kind of see if I get any inspiration for other ones. You know, even like an Animal Crossing show, that could be a thing. You know, imagine like a slice of life Animal Crossing TV series, followed by like an updated Animal Crossing game or DLC. You know, imagine a Fire Emblem cartoon. That would be freaking cool, dude. Like a legit like anime series on like Cartoon Network for Fire Emblem. Imagine that. You know, there's so many different just possibilities going forward if when Nintendo is successful with this Super Mario Bros. Movie, in my opinion, you know. Or they could just do nothing with it in that regard and continue to make Super Mario Bros. Movies. But I really doubt it, considering the fact that they literally just purchased an entire movie studio in Japan. So yeah, just awesome stuff. And, you know, I'm the kind of person that can't help but like look forward into the future. But I'm super excited for this, guys. Like, I am legit sold on the idea of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and I cannot wait for it to come out. I'm cool with Chris Pratt. You know, I think he's gonna do it justice. I'm way cooler with Jack Black. Other characters that were mentioned as being, you know, added to the cast, I don't remember. Honestly, the only now that I think about it, the only other one I remember is that Seth Rogen is gonna be Donkey Kong, which I'm even more excited for than Jack Black as Bowser. So I can't wait to see that. I'm sure they're holding that off for the next trailer as like a, remember that? Which, you know, will be great. But I'm sold on the idea of this movie, and I think it's gonna do really well. And I hope you guys are too. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys happen to watch the trailer today, or if this is just bringing awareness that there even is a Super Mario Bros. Movie. Maybe you didn't know that. And then let me know what you think. Let me know if you're excited too, or even better, like, start a conversation on like what intellectual property video game license from Nintendo would you like to see become an animated movie or TV series going forward, now that we know that that's definitely a possibility. All right, guys, that does it here for today. Just a quick vid, you know, kind of post-reaction. But thank you for watching. Again, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share the channel. Would love to be able to do a live reaction the next time something like this comes out. But yeah, have a good one, guys.